Good morning, everyone. How are you all doing today?
Good.
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 Well, welcome to Jigsaw Parenting. I am Sumitra Single, and today I have with me
Stephen Bax.
and
And Sissy Gonzalez.
and today's topic is an interesting one. So as you guys know, as parents, you're always dishing out money for something, right? There's always something, even the things you don't plan for, things are always popping up. But I have a recent high school graduate, and Stephen also has a recent high school graduate. So something that's recently come up for us is just how much money is it okay to spend on graduation? And when we say graduation, we're talking about everything related to the whole graduation process. If you think about it, especially with the girls, the dress, the hair, the makeup. Not to say that guys don't need to groom themselves, of course, no nothing against you, Stephen, right? But the fact is, it's a little less involved, I think, with guys than it is with the girls. And then, you've got the celebrations, you've got the parties and everything that goes on. So I'll tell you guys with me, so far, because of course, we're still in a COVID year, graduation was still, at least we had one, but it was still different than what it would have been in the past years. So because of that, we were set up not in like a stadium type seating, where everyone could look down. And because of that, we didn't have the grandparents come. It was going to be a little tough for them physically. So what we decided to do was do a dinner. Went to a restaurant, grandparents went, my sister and her family came, and then we were there, and it turned out really nice. So that's what we did. And we haven't done anything additional yet, although we have some other ideas in mind. I don't know, Stephen, what all did you get into with your son?
Well, the grandparents, my wife's parents did come along, and everybody waited outside to embarrass him a little bit. And then his uncle rented him a Corvette for the weekend.
Ooh.
Now that might start a family tradition because my late wife, when he was in high school, and they didn't have prom this year. So when he was in high school, my wife rented him a BMW convertible. And one of his friends basically told him, look, you're just showing off. You're never going to have a BMW. And he told his friend, I'll have a 7 Series by the time I'm 40. He actually had 11 BMWs, all leases, and he had the 7 Series before he was 30. So his friend didn't do so well. But
hey, listen, I hope they didn't bet any money on that.
What's that?
I hope they didn't bet any money on that because somebody.
No, they didn't. But it was a little bit hostile the way it went. So maybe it'll encourage him to move up. I did drive the car. It's still sitting in the driveway. We returned it today, but he had fun with that. But we rented out a room, and there's tons of banquet halls in Hialeah.
Mm-hmm.
I didn't want to do that. I wanted something different. So I went to Caprizio's, which is an Italian restaurant in Pembroke Pines. It's been there since the 80s, family owned. And my wife and I used to like to go there, sometimes with the kids, sometimes without. And we rented out a room, and it was beautiful, all marble. And it was a 4-course meal with wine and sodas for the kids. And so we had about 40 people there.
Oh, you had a big gathering.
30 or 40 people, and it was mostly family with a few friends. Beyond that, the church pastor, that sort of thing. And we had a real good time, and that was yesterday. And it started. We decorated around noon. Everyone started showing up around 12:30, 1 o'clock, and we were there till 5. So it was a nice long celebration. We had our speeches and that sort of thing, and they got. It really worked out well. It wasn't really expensive. It wasn't cheap, but it wasn't really expensive.
Okay.
Yeah.
Oh.
Now, Sissy, what about you? When your daughter graduated, I know it's been a few years. Did you all do anything like for her graduation?
Well, things are really different around here because with graduation, there's a start of a feeling of independence with the kids graduating. So they really don't celebrate with family and parents like you guys do. It's more
Oh,
of a get together with your classmates and deciding where are we going to celebrate this together. So most of the time it will be like two different parties and showing up on the different parties and just classmates organizing a barbecue or but with COVID it has to be a bit
Right.
different now. But with us, it was my daughter wanting to celebrate it with her best friend and organizing a barbecue. So it's really cheap compared to you
I was
guys.
gonna say that
It's
sounds like a
just,
better deal right there.
but it's really for, I think it's for the student himself, for my daughter herself. So if she decided to celebrate it that way with her, because most of the time they'll split up and go to different schools. So it's kind of
Right.
like
Yeah.
saying goodbye, seeing each other, talking about making plans about what are you going to do, how are we going to meet, are we going to still see each other
Okay.
again. So it's kind of celebrating we made it, and at the same time, okay, what are we going to do we keep in touch, what are, like you, Stephen, in a couple of years, what will you be doing, what will you, it's really a get together and saying goodbye, but it's not a, they don't call it a goodbye party. I know as parents I see it. It's like, okay, I know a couple of you guys who we're never gonna see you guys again,
Yeah.
Mhm.
but still, there are a couple, well, they're in their group, they hang out in their spare time, they hang out together. So it's a cheap way of celebrating, but I
Yeah.
think it's a good way. It's
You
kind
know
of
what?
like the first steps of getting their own 2 feet on the ground.
Yes.
Like, what am I gonna do? Think about it. It's not
You
just
know what?
party, family.
Yes. Cece, that's exactly what I was thinking as you're talking about this. That's really interesting because it definitely sounds like this is like their first kind of step in their independence because they're the ones organizing everything.
Yeah.
So that's
It's
to me
true.
that's kind of cool because it's kind of like a transition right there.
Yeah.
The gathering.
And it is cool because here we don't do the drop off. We don't. Kids take their bikes and they go. It's safe, so they go. It's just like, okay, what time do you think you're gonna be back? So you're starting to let go and letting, and just who's throwing the party, who's organizing the
Okay.
beer and the stuff, and you'll get in touch with the parents. Is everything going okay? So it's kind of like the first steps of their independence, and you're letting go. And yes, go celebrate. It's fine. You made it. And at home, when they, of course, with at graduation day, then you keep it small, family, just grandparents calling,
Right.
sending flowers, things like that. But for the kids themselves, this is their way of celebrating, and it's fine with me.
Mhm.
It's pretty
That's,
cool.
that
Well,
is
my,
pretty
my
cool.
son is actually out right now with his friends. They're doing a pool party. They had a little get together last. They
Yeah.
took the Corvette last night, and you know, I don't give him a curfew. I just tell him to be reasonable. And he always has been. Last night he texted me. He said, "Dad, it's raining. I don't want to take the Corvette out on this wet road."
Mhm.
He said, "Can I spend the night at this young lady's house?" I said, "You're kidding, right?" Uh,
You're like, wait a second, this is a little bit too fast for me.
yeah. I've already had the talk with him a couple times about certain young ladies. Um, but yeah, I don't want to be a grandpa yet.
Right.
I said that
Right.
clearly to him, but he didn't complain about it. He came home around the latest. This is the latest he's ever come home. It was almost 1 o'clock in the morning, but it was raining pretty hard, and he was in Hialeah.
Okay.
So, but here he had a Corvette. He could have been cruising around doing whatever, and he just went to his friend's house to hang out, which I'm fine with.
Yeah.
Hey, so Stephen, tell me this. I know you said the uncle rented the Corvette. So if
Yes.
the uncle would not have rented the Corvette, since we're talking about spending the money, would you
Yeah.
have done it instead or maybe
No,
a
no.
different car?
Nope.
No.
Nope. Listen, the banquet hall, I guess price is relative,
Right.
but that's $35 a plate.
Oh, yeah.
And the service was awesome. And I highly recommend it if you ever get it before you leave. If you get a chance to go there, they've been there since the '80s. The actual plaza is named after the restaurant, and it's like it's all
cool.
old world inside. On the weekends, you got to make reservations. It's live entertainment. The other side of the restaurant, there's 3 different sections. The other side was rented by another graduation group. and it's just a beautiful setting. For that price, though, they had a choice of 4 different main dishes. They had wine. They had all of it was included. Salad.
Because you said it was 4 courses, right?
Yeah.
So you must be like nice and full, like
oh yeah.
Let me unbutton my pants and
Yep,
lean back in the
like
chair.
that,
It's Italian food, so you gotta make room.
Oh yeah, we had the tiramisu was amazing.
Oh my gosh!
But I had the eggplant, not Parmesan, it was something else, but it was so good.
Wow!
It was really a nice day. But they let us decorate the place, and then we just took decorations when we left.
Yeah.
And,
this almost sounds like a pre-COVID setting. Like they didn't, between the amount of people you had gathering, and
most of them were family though.
That you decorate, that sounds good because those are the types of things that would happen before the pandemic came around.
But it was a separate room that was sealed off. The waiters all wore masks, and everybody in there was family, and we'd been around each other the whole time anyway.
Mm-hmm.
We have a pretty big extended family with some cousins and such in there, and it was just a really nice gathering. Not crazy dressy shirt and tie sort of thing,
but looking nice.
Yeah, looking nice. Yeah.
Right. Not the flip flops with the jeans and the t-shirt.
Not that.
No, we gotta show up and at least look like we're here for some sort of celebration.
And it was special on my wife's side of the family because he's the first graduate of the grandchildren.
Wow.
Yeah. So my side, I'm the last one to have kids graduating. But on her side, I'm the first.
Okay.
Very
that's really nice. Well, it doesn't really sound like you did too bad. It doesn't sound like you broke the bank. And if you think about it, this is like a once, unless there'll be college also, but this is like I would think one of the biggest milestones for most kids is the high school graduation.
And I didn't have to pay for prom or grad bash or homecoming this year. So really, it's kind of a bargain this year.
You know what? It's funny you mentioned that because I got my daughter, she found a dress she wanted to wear to graduation. Mm-hmm. And of course I paid for the dress and she wanted some shoes. The shoes were actually the shoes cost more than the damn dress did. Can you imagine that?
Hey, my son got a suit. Those are expensive. But look, talk about I'm getting him a suit. Don't worry about it. Okay.
But you know what is something funny that she said to me, which was true. She said, well, we didn't have grad bash. We didn't go to prom. So in the grand scheme of things, I think you've saved a lot of money. And I thought about it. I was like, you know what? She's right. So if I got to go ahead and spend a little extra money on these shoes, and at least they're shoes that she can continue to wear, then what am I going to really complain about, right?
Yeah, that's true.
So
how does she feel about the whole move going on while she's about to go off to college?
Well, the biggest thing.
Mention that here, but wow.
So this is interesting. She has a lot of friends a good number of friends who are going to go away to college, like she is, and then she has some that are going to stay here. And it's funny because a lot of them are going up for the summer, and of right around the same date. So we're going to blink. And within a few weeks, she's got to have her stuff packed up and ready to go. So, it's going to be a lot happening in a short period of time, but really she's just going to have to focus on herself because this is, her moving to school, she's got to take all her stuff with her, but realistically narrow down. I already talked to her. I said, listen, you can't be keeping everything ever known to man that you've had. You keep a couple of things that are like a significant piece of memorabilia that you want, but I don't know what you think we're going to do with all your stuff. You get rid of all those high school polos and uniforms you used to wear because clearly you don't need those anymore. No. And that's it. So, she's just kind of focused on her at this point.
Yeah.
That's pretty cool.
That's good.
She's going to get all her gator gear when she gets up there anyway.
Right? Hey, but listen, a really, really good friend of hers got her a gator mug, like one of the the ones that keep everything hot and cold for long
Right,
periods
right.
of time. It's nice. Okay, I must admit, it's pretty nice.
Uh,
Yeah, that's pretty nice. Well, I'm sure hot and cold right now might be water and some tea. Later on, it could be other beverages of choice.
Other beverages, right? You don't want to know yet.
Listen,
Probably.
listen. She keeps that over there, and as long as she's safe, I don't mind. You know.
I know I'm the same way, but I just, what my son doesn't know about my past, I keep
Let's keep it there.
it. Yeah, right.
Ah.
Thank God for
So,
social media not being around then.
are you both like we don't want to know, or do you keep the lines open? Like, when you want to talk to me, just go ahead and tell me.
I want to keep the line. I don't know what happened to her. I want to keep the lines open, and we do still have discussions about, what's acceptable, what's not acceptable. Um, and yeah, I definitely want to keep the lines open. I don't ever. I keep an eye to make sure nothing gets hostile. Because for a bit, he was getting a little hostile. The teenage angst kicks in. Um,
Yeah,
but when I tell him no about certain things, he gets very upset. Uh,
yeah,
but I want to keep the lines open. I think that's so important, especially when he's going off on his own. He's got to make decisions that he's never thought to make before. And
yeah,
I've been through it, but maybe, and I think he's starting to understand that, what, I did go through it. And I went through it slightly different path, but I still went through it, leaving home. I went through it, the homesickness and all that sort of thing, and having to make decisions based on, do I go study or do I go to the fraternity party? And I lived in the fraternity house, and
yeah.
so there's a lot of that going on. Yeah, I want to keep the lines open. She's back.
Oh my
Hello.
gosh,
Hey,
you gotta love technology, okay?
yeah,
But
Murphy's Law,
I guess as convenient as things can be, you drop off, you can come right back in.
right?
Um, but to answer your question, Cece, I'm all about keeping the lines of communication open. I don't want it to be a no, don't tell me kind of thing, because
Right.
I want her to be able to come to me and maybe ask questions if there's a situation or she's confused
right.
about something or whatever it is. I don't want to be in denial. At the same time, I don't want to hear all the details about anything
Mhm.
crazy. I want to say, okay, be safe, make sure you're being smart about things, but I want her to know she can come and tell me. I'm not there to judge because, of course,
Yeah,
I've been her age. So I'm not trying to walk around acting like I'm a saint or I was a saint or I haven't been
mm,
young and I haven't done all types of things too. So I'm all about let's keep it open. Come talk to me and I'm going to listen because I'd rather her come talk to me than go get advice from
yeah.
maybe somebody else that doesn't know, you know?
No, no, no. That's a good thing because that helped me. In my experience, I was like, you can tell me anything. I might not like what I hear. I'm gonna be really honest about it, but I'm still gonna not gonna be like, I told you I shouldn't. No, I'm just tell me and we'll try to fix it. But
Mhm.
keeping lines open and really, and I'd be the mom that go, well, back in my day I did this, and she would go, no, 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 no. I don't want to know, mom.
It was the other
So
way around.
yeah, so but that helped to lower the bridge. I can tell my mom because she's probably done something in the lines of that, so she'll know what to tell me. So that was my way of handling it.
I like that, Cece. The fact that you tell her, I may not like what you tell me. So it's not to say
Yeah,
actually, I think I'm going to use that because you're right. They may tell me, I mean, she's the oldest, but Granny, any of them may say something to me, and I may not be happy to hear what it is, but I really like that idea. I may not be happy about what you're telling me, but or agree with it, but I'd rather you come talk to me about it
yeah,
or ask me questions. Because if you think about it, even if you haven't done it or experienced it, you may have a friend, that you grew up with that something happened to them and you can share that story and say, okay, listen, this is what happened to them. And they can learn from something.
yeah. That's my feelings about it, and them realizing because this is a phase of changing. You're still gonna be the parent. You're always gonna be the parent,
Okay.
but there's something shifting in the way they're gonna look at you for advice that you can show them that you can be the friend too, not just the parent, just
Okay.
teaching, but you can be the friend and listen too. because you're human, just like them. You
Yeah,
make mistakes.
yeah. I think watching them grow up, you're careful not to be too much of the friend. I don't like to see parents say, "Hey, I'm my kid's best friend," and
I
yeah,
totally
10,
agree.
12, and 14 years
Growing up,
old.
yeah,
No, 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 I'm the parent. But at this
Yeah,
stage in their life, you can start to be a little bit more of a friend
yeah,
as well. And I think
yeah,
I think that this is where that transition happens.
mm-hmm.
yeah, yes.
Completely, completely. Okay, I think this has been a great topic today.
Yeah.
This is and whether you've got a kid graduating this year or next year or down the road or it's happened in the past, money is always the issue.
Yep.
Always the issue,
Always.
without a doubt.
And you got to do something to market. You do have to do something to market, something that they can remember. It doesn't have to be fancy. It doesn't have to be really expensive, but
No.
something just it's a touch point in their timeline, and it's something you
Yes.
need to do something.
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
Definitely.
Yeah.
Okay, well, this has been great. I hope you guys have enjoyed our little chat today about graduates and all the money that can and cannot be spent. And again, this was Jigsaw Parenting. I am Sumitra Single, and with me I had
Stephen Bax.
Anne,
And Sissy Park.
and we'll see you guys next time. Bye-bye.
Bye.
Bye.
Hmm.
Stadium.